Let's talk about Filter. I know I was telling you guys about Filter, and people are loving this show. And I've heard rave reviews on this show, so I say, I really wasn't interested in watching it because it really wasn't driving me to watch it. Because it remind me what it remind me of was the Korean show. I think it was Beauty Inside. With the Korean show Beauty Inside, for whatever reason and for whatever time of doesn't specifically know why, she changes into a totally different person. It doesn't matter what the gender was. It doesn't matter what the nationality was. It doesn't matter old or young. She changes into this certain person. So that kind of what reminded me of was that show, Beauty Inside. But however, with Filter, it was about a little bracelet. She basically, and it was about beauty. It was still about beauty, which kind of goes back to again the whole Korean drama. Oh, I can't think of the name right now. I'll leave it here. Where she had her facials were acne filled. She felt that she was ugly, and then chance happening, she goes back to her high school where now she can beautify herself with makeup. hmm And so now she can present herself a total new person. That was the Korean version of it. Here with Filter, again, it was beauty driven. It focused a lot on beauty standards, well, how people perceive what beauty was. And I can say this, the whole concept was not bad of the show. I just didn't care too much for it. Okay. Yes, a lot of women do go through that they do feel like they were less beautiful. Um, and and when she was in high school, she did have a lot of acne. And it, I have a teenage daughter. I had a teenager when she was, of course, when she was a teenager. So yes, I know how to. Teenagers have their own feel of what they want to look like and how they want to do what they want to do. So yeah, I get it. I mean, if she didn't want to better her, try to make her acne go away or do anything to combat it, you can't do nothing about that. So I get it. I work with you on that. But the thing when she became an adult after high school, after college, when she became an adult, her and she had an older sister, and they made this older sister more beautiful than her. The older sister told her, "Once you clean up after yourself, once you do this to yourself." The parents loved her and tried to comfort her and said, "Oh, beauty is just inside," but secretly they're saying the same thing. I'm like, what's going on? What kind of family is this? And so she succumbed to this, it was weird. Again, storytelling, and again with the first episode, I'm like, what am I watching? Like, I get it, but what am I watching? She's on a bus, and it wasn't even a packed bus, and there's this lewd guy standing next to the bus chair, standing next to this bus chair, and it was a young lady sitting in her seat, and while he's standing next to her, and he's about ready to do something, and I'm like, what's going on? And literally, he jumps in front of her, jumps onto, pushes her onto the other side of the seat, starts to try to, mess with her. She jumps up, hollering and screaming. I'm like, wait a minute, this is what the heck? Open space. When you usually watch these things on the buses, they're usually packed, and he's kind of secretly trying to do it. No, he's openly doing it on the bus. Like, what am I watching? Yeah, that kind of would have turned me off a little bit. I'm like, okay. And then what she does, because at this point they started off with her. At this point, already had the bracelet that was changing her features. So basically, it was like a projection. It was projecting different images on her, but it was still her. It was just projecting different images on her, and she could turn into anything. And so then and then she was supposed to be this athlete who has superhuman strength. So then we're going back to what, strong woman Dong Song or whatever that Korean show was. I'm like, what's going on here? So we're going back to that because yeah, she was supposed to be this strong woman, And because she was an athlete, and so she beats up the guy who did it. Good for her, beating up the guy. Yeah, I'll work with you on that. And she's flipping him on this bus. He's trying to do all this stuff. She's this high, he's this high. Yeah, the little petite shelf. And I was like, what? Okay. And then all of a sudden she uses the bracelet and to change her features, her filters. And the guy was like, oh, look at her face, look at her face. And people on the bus turns looking like, you know. And so the guy ends up peeing on himself. The bus stops. She gets off the bus, and you see the two cops coming in the bus to arrest him. Yes, this is the first 15 minutes of the show, or even 5 minutes of the show. Yeah. And then after that incident happened, it tells us, it goes to the scene where it says 3 months ago. And it tells the story about how the beauty, she couldn't get this. She was trying to get a job in marketing. And it was for a cosmetic. That's one of the things I find really weird. I mean, cosmetic industry. But anyway, so she tries to get this job at this cosmetic industry, and she's wearing tomboyish type of clothes, sweat hoodies, jeans, gym shoes, her hair pulled back, no makeup on, no nothing, right? What? I mean, even if you didn't have makeup on, at least you're going to a corporate business trying to get a job. So two other people gets on the elevator one was a gentleman with a suit. The other was a young lady who was actually dressed appropriately for trying to get this job in the cosmetic. And of course, because of that, she was much more beautiful. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, whatever. Hey, I'll work with you on this. I'm still going to go on. And technically, I stopped watching it. But people saying it, let's watch it. So I said, okay, you know what? I got you. Let me continue to watch it. Of course. So then she catfishes her resume. Yeah. Her best friend, who is a comic artist, right? Graphic artist, doctored her resume photo. And so they liked her on paper. And then, okay, they liked her because of her photo. So they thought she would have been a great match for the company. But when they got there when the interviewees or interviewers got there and saw her, they're like, wait a minute, this is not your photo. And they're like, oh, no, yeah, it's just a little bit of a twist. And they're like, okay, thank you. And just didn't give her a chance. Now, look, if you're going to lie on your photo, that right there is a red flag itself. Not because they don't think that, not because you weren't pretty enough for the job. You just lied on your resume by catfishing it with a whole different image of yourself on this photo. And so, yeah, they're going to say goodbye, crying and stuff. She goes home. So I didn't know what was going on with this bedroom. Next thing you know, her sister was in this bedroom. If you're going, why did you go looking like this in this meeting and blah blah blah. I told you should look like this. I told you should wear this. I told you should be doing this. And that's just the sister telling her this. I mean, wow, who needs a sister when you got this sister like this? And this is the sister telling her this. And so in the midst of time, there was a whole nother scene where she was crying on the bench. Another gentleman was sitting next to her as she was crying on the bench, left a book and a sample cosmetic case on this bench. The park cleaner, or whatever we call her, say, hey, this is stuff for sure. She picks it up, takes it home because she doesn't know who this person was who was sitting next to her. So she puts it in the closet. So I thought this was the sister's bedroom, but no, it was her bedroom. And so she goes to take a shower, but when she comes back, the sister locks the door. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, well, whose bedroom was this? It's like, what's going on? So the sister took on upon herself and said she's going to take over this bedroom. So then now she goes into her sister's bedroom. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, all right. So that was her bedroom, but the sister took it over. She goes to her sister's bedroom. Come to find out, reason why the sister was in her bedroom was because the sister's bedroom air conditioning unit was broken and it was on cold, right? So she couldn't use it to turn the air down. So she just goes. So what happens is She goes and curls up under the blankets, puts it over her head because it was too cold in the room. So this is reason why this whole scenario about bedroom switching, because now the mother comes in with another comforter, right, to put on her, and told, thinking that it's actually the other, her other daughter, and not uh, our female lead here, and basically told her, "Hey, why don't you help your sister out? I know because you're so pretty that I'm quite sure I know that you know a lot of young men that may be interested in your daughter and your sister. Why don't you help them out?" So of course, in this whole time before this, the parents were already trying to encourage her, technically saying, "Oh, beauty is indeed," but now they're saying that she was trying to say that she wasn't pretty either. This show was crazy. And again, this is just the first episode. I think I may be going into two. I don't think I even gone into two yet. And in the meantime, yes, she did get the bracelet. Okay, so what happened with the bracelet? She was crying with this whole situation that happened with the job, whole situation. She's just mad. She couldn't get the job because she feels like she's ugly. She can't get a job. She crying, and it was a street vendor, and the street vendor was speechless, so she couldn't talk, mute. And so she was selling flowers. So and nobody was buying it. So our female lead here said, "I'll buy the flowers for you." So she bought like four flowers and gave her like 50 wands, which they were only, I think, were $2 a wand for the flower. And so she was like, "Oh, no, 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 no." She tried to give her the money back. She's, "No, no, no, no." And so then she said, wait a minute, but then of course she's not talking. She reaches in the bag and gives her this bracelet. And she was on, I think she was on the bus, a subway or something. Electrical thing happened where it activated the bracelet. And when the lights go dark, when it comes back up, she's just this beautiful woman, young woman, right? Young lady. If you did not know, it was the actor in You Are My Lover Friend, the one who was going dating Cheng He. So that was the actor who was playing the beautiful girl, right? The young lady, beautiful young lady. So she's walking down holding these flowers. She's thinking, she doesn't know why people are looking at her. She thought people were looking at her because she thought she was ugly, and she crying. And so then that somehow she finds on a reflection of a car. She realizes that it was this other person she's showing, and so then two to two together, she's thinking it's the bracelet. She goes and finds her best friend, and then that's when the best friend, she's like, "It's me." No, it's not. It's not. It's me. And then that's when the best friend says, takes her to their house. Best friend has money. The graphic artist, she has money. She said, "If it's you, then your fingerprints shouldn't change." So when she touches the door, of course, they're using fingerprints. When she touches the door opens. So that's how the best friend comes to terms with the fact that yes, this has to be her. So then they found out how to activate the bracelet, and then that's how they found out the different variations that they could do. And the way the bracelet worked is just like if you were doing an avatar for a computer game or whatever, and you're making your own avatar, you can pick certain things. So that's how it is. For whatever reason, the bracelet automatically went to this beautiful girl. And then she decides, so then the sister did ended up helping her get a job. And so she gets a phone call. Something happened in between. I can't even go there right now. I don't even know what happened because now she succumbs to the fact that she's beautiful. So she gets a phone call from her sister, from this job, thinking that it was so that she can get the job. But however, it was because they wanted the beautiful version of herself, the young lady. The guy, which was her high school crush, okay, he was the CEO of this company, and he's relaunching a new brand. And so she was like, "Okay." He was like, "You're not the one." And they did meet up prior, and she was supposed to have this makeup on, and she's crying. Something happened when she got splashed with some alcohol. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. But however, her makeup ran, which they don't have that stuff anymore. But however, it's for show. Her makeup ran. Her lipstick was all over the place, and so he called her ugly. which it was just basically the makeup he was saying ugly, not necessarily. And so it gave him the muse of trying to make makeup more less smudgy and stuff. And so then that's when the whole bracelet again comes apart. So she turns herself into this young lady, and he saw this young lady. And when he saw this young lady, the CEO saw this young lady, he immediately fell for it. She fell for her beauty and wanted her to be the poster brand for her, for this line of new launch line of makeup he was doing. Now cut to the fact, yes, okay. hmm He he wanted they found who she was. However, they thought when she got the phone call it was for the job that her sister got her in her natural state. But however, they wanted the young, beautiful young lady state. So when she gets there, that's when they're like, "You're not the one we're looking for." And so she felt kind of betrayed. So in order to get revenge, I think that's what it was. I can't remember. She ended up changing into the person that they were looking for. So then but then she made a negotiated deal that we're a package deal. So they still end up giving her the job because that was something that the sister lined up. So they did still end up giving her the job, but they still needed the young, beautiful young lady to be the brand ambassador for this cosmetic line, this new launch of this cosmetic line. He ended up, so she goes to work, okay, and so she's on the phone with her best friend, and she's like, "Well, how are you gonna do it? How can you be there and also this young lady be there for the shoot? You can't be in two places at once, as because you're the same person." So she's automatically saying, "Well, I guess I have to call off." It's just like you just got the job. Monday she gets the job. Tuesday she talking about calling off. And they're like, so the best friend was like, "How you gonna call off?" And she's like, "Well, I just make a good excuse. If they really want her, then they're gonna go ahead and have to just take it." I'm like, okay. And of course, this was happening. She was always calling off because of this whole young lady's beauty, and having to do stuff. So her colleagues are upset the fact that she's doing this calling off, and then she get the job based on uh, uh, not nepotism, but I can't think of the word right now. And so yeah, and then when they had to do the shoot, so she said then they were told, well, you can't call off. It's all hands on deck on this project. So now she couldn't call off. So that's when the antics started. Okay, so the antics come back and forth, her switching back and forth, and then her colleagues are mad because they feel like they're doing all the work while she's just out there doing nothing. So to me, the whole story, it was basically manipulation, catfishing, being deceitful, and that's how the antics of the story was going. And that's the reason why I kind of dropped it on episode 9 after the fact that now what she's going to do with this young lady, she can't pretend to be this young lady anymore. So what did he do? They had to offer, right? They find some way to, in order to make it seal the deal that she would never come back, she had to find some way to offer. So yeah, so she ends up pretending that she was struck by lightning. There was a lot of other antics, but however, and when she's in this black ashy look with her hair puffed out, yeah, whatever. And so she falls on the beach. He has issues with he has also psychosis when it comes to visions, visualizing things, and so his perceptions is different than what other people's perceptions would be. So he is traumatic things happen. When traumatic things happen, his thoughts is almost like a seizure type of thing goes into his eyes and his mind. So he could, if it's too much of an overload, he can pass out. And that's how it was also when he was in high school. So when they were in high school together, she thought he was being rude to her, but in turn it was just because of his psychosis that he was having when it comes to his vision. So he passes out on the beach. When he comes up, his two best friends, who runs the groups with him, told him she passes away, and immediately he was destroyed. He was distraught. He couldn't take it anymore because he started to fall in love with this woman. Yeah. I think they could have just did a little bit better with the storytelling and maybe not add so much, because now he's fallen in love with this woman. She passes. Now he's in this state of hurt, grief, and upset and crying. I don't know if he was crying, but he was in this mental state that he just couldn't work because the person he loved dies. And then they had to do this fake funeral. Yeah. They ended up doing this fake funeral. The sister finds out about what was going on. Now, I did like the bronze medal thing when there was in this bronze statue. That was actually pretty cute. It was actually funny. That part I kind of did like when she changed herself into a bronze statue. But anyway, so that's how the sister found out about this whole what was going on. Her best friend. So they all three of them had to put on this funeral, and they're like, he was like, well, can I see the body? And she said, we already cremated him. So he was very distraught. He was very hurt, and now they're pretending to cry. They had to take some tissue and put in like these fake tears on the tissue and put it on their eyes, pretending to cry. And this man is thinking that this woman that he loved or liked died, and they're out here pretending. And the sister is like, she couldn't take. The sister was like, yeah, this is what I. That's the reason why I was like, I'm done. I was like, you know what? This is so wrong in so many ways. So she comes to find out, she kind of realizes what was going on with this man's state of mind. And what she decides to do, she tries to go to his apartment. Because what happened was, I guess they got drunk. And now remember, strong woman, she gets drunk. I mean, he gets drunk. She carries him. Yes, she carries him on her shoulder. Yes, carries him home. Well, carries him in the car, gets him out of the car, carries him home. They were able to unlock. I think he unlocked the door. I can't remember. I think he had to unlock the door. Puts him in bed, and something happened where she ended up sleeping there. And so in the meantime, she was herself when he was drunk and she had to take him home. But she turned him back into the young lady, and no, she didn't. No, she didn't. She tried to escape, and in order to escape, he already woke up and caught her leaving. So she ended up changing herself back into the young lady. So in his mind, he may have spent the night with this young lady and not her. So that's how he felt a relationship was going to start. Because now, as a man, he wants to take responsibility for that time and that night. And this was his first time experiencing this whole situation of being with a woman overnight in the bed. Yeah. So now that's the reason why he was trying to continually pursue her, and these with all these other antics she's trying to break it all, but he would not listen. And then that's when all these antics started happening. Her missing job, her hitting her foot. Yeah, that's the reason why she turned to the bronze medal. She's topping. Then now on YouTube, they not only is English dubbed. So I don't know if all episodes are English dubbed on the WeTV YouTube, because I know two of them, 14 and 17, is English dub. So I turned it on to see if there was something there for me to continue to watch. There was nothing there. Her sister wants her to pretend to be her friend because her friend got into a car accident in order to seal this divorce deal. And somehow it's a cosmetic line that the CEO wants, and now she's pretending to be the creator of this cosmetic line. That's longer than I wanted to talk about. But however, tell me what you think about Filter. Leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Meet adjourned.